This is Nikki Victory. Make sure to check out Dork Side of the Ring every Sunday at 11 Pacific.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Jules Atmosphere proudly brings to you the Dork Knight's Dork Side of the Ring. That's good enough. We didn't have our real intro, so I
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I had to ad lib. Hey, John.
How we doing, guys?
Hey, Dan. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Nikki. I like your shirt. Uh-oh. She's muted.
Uh-oh, did we lose her?
She's doing that. You should throw her t-shirt link in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, because like,
Sounds
why
good
not?
to me. Sounds good to me.
Well,
and she is working on her stuff.
It's okay.
It's okay, though.
She's had one too many bumps this week. It's fine.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, but just for you, Joe. Ooh, yeah.
The Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah.
I went straight. This is my long day at work. So I went straight to dinner with Foxy, and she is back. There she is.
Sorry, I don't know.
Yay!
You're good. You're good.
All right. Hey, Mom. Mom's in the chat. Daniel's hot topic. So what do I want to talk about tonight? Well, tonight we are going to talk about our special guest, Nikki Victory. She is, what do we promote? We're promoting her upcoming match with Tessa Blanchard in West Virginia. Is that right?
Yes.
I wish I was more professional. I apologize in advance. But you're with NWF, right? North.
Yes.
What's that stand for?
Northern Wrestling Federation.
Northern Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
Based out of Ohio.
Cincinnati.
So a few weeks ago, we had the opportunity, thanks to Joe and his brother, to have an interview with the lovely Nikki Victory. Or no, wait, now you're the next level.
Next level, Nikki. She's a bad guy now.
She's a bad guy.
Bad girl.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to help her out because, as you'll see here in the interview, which we're going to play in a few minutes. When I was, because when I'm, editing a video, unfortunately, I'm watching. I spent countless hours watching and rewatching and cutting and snipping and all this, and you seem to not. We're total opposites, man. Because I feel like I was born to be a heel. I'm born to be an asshole and make people hate me. Sounds like fun, but you're just like. Well, I know Das Wolfen, but this is a real interview. It's fun. I'm sure nobody that follows her storyline and hates her guts is going to watch this show and see how sweet she really is. But it seems like that's something you struggle with. Since we talked last, it's been a few weeks. Has that gotten any easier for you? I'm just curious.
Not really.
Oh, man.
Okay. Hey, at least she's honest, folks.
This weekend, though, I get to tag with my husband, who is great at being a jerk. So hopefully I'm going to pick up on some things out there.
Hell yeah. No, and we actually talked about that in the interview, and that'll be available here in just a few minutes. What we're going to do for those of you in the chat, even though we're doing a live intro right now, Nikki only has a handful of minutes with us tonight, so we wanted to have her on to thank her, introduce her to our fans, give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions. I know most of you are probably going to get on here after she leaves, but oh well, early bird gets the worm.
That's right.
And, yeah, and then we're going to show the interview, but Joe and I will be in the chat throughout the entire duration of the interview, and then we'll do like a live wrap up at the end.
And Nikki, I cannot find in this chain of emails the original link for the show you're doing in June.
Oh, I found it on Eventbrite because unfortunately,
Eventbrite?
even though we waited, we waited until today because that's when the website was supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, the website is still down, but I did find it on Eventbrite.
Okay. Have you got the link for it?
I hold, please. Yes.
Okay, no problem, brother.
Yeah.
But Nikki, everything going good for you? You all, what? Let me ask you one thing. I can't remember if we asked you during the interview. Are you guys going to be able to work together and work up the what you want to do in the match with Tessa beforehand? Or are you just going to meet the day of? And
I'm just driving up to West Virginia the day of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man. That's
so
cool.
So I'm confused. This says Tessa Blanchard versus Nikki Victory in Portsmouth, Ohio on the 14th Street thing on June 10th. That's not right, is it?
No, I know they're doing 2 nights. It's a Friday night and a Saturday night event. I'm on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know Tessa is wrestling again with somebody else on night 2.
So I don't want to call your guys out. I'm going to put this link in the private chat so you can ream them later and be like, "Yo, man, what the heck is this?" But this is literally what's on the internet that's got your picture on it right now.
I'll have to reach back out to him.
Yeah, but we'll look a little bit. In fact, you know what, Joe? This is your baby. This is State of the Atmosphere. I am going to do my due diligence, which I should have done prior to the show. I apologize. And look for this link while you cover my
Go for it. Well,
cover my 6, buddy. All
no
right.
problem. By the way, I don't know if I ever told you that little intro I do that's mostly from Total Recall, right? That I have for all my videos. That's Daniel. That's my brother playing the guitar.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
That is him playing the guitar. Tell him you heard him on the axe when you talk to him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He whenever I need music for stuff, he always sends me tracks. That's his big thing. He loves playing the guitar, man. I don't know if you've ever watched the show he and I do together on Thursday nights, but he always shows off the axe that he's just sitting there plucking away at it during the show. Whenever I'm talking, when I'm reading articles and stuff. Yeah, he's awesome. A maniac. He loves
I wish I could play an instrument.
Well, I mean,
did you do this photo shoot after? Whoa, hold up! Not to be a perv, but did you do this photo shoot after? Because I did not see these photos when we interviewed you. You got some pretty smoking hot photos. Literally, they're smoking. There's
the smoke photos. I want to say I did those. I think I did them before we had interviewed.
Really?
Wow, really? Because I don't remember. Okay, yeah, I guess you did. Yeah.
Well,
again, I did not. You must have changed it maybe recently. Yeah, I don't want to get my ass beat by your heel of a husband. So
right.
I'll be back.
We
I'm
don't need that
for that link.
Das Wolfen wants to know, what is your dream match, young lady? What is your dream match?
So we did get to touch on this in the interview. I actually already got to have my dream match, which is I'm super grateful for that. But it was Kylie Rae.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been thinking about who I'd want to be, next on the list, and it's tough. At least thinking about people who are within reach from where I'm at right now. It's tough. It's tough to say. I don't know. Kylie was always way up here. It's just my number one dream match. I get that and I'm set. I'm happy.
I hear you. I mean, the challenge you got coming in June is wow.
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard. Well, Dork will tell you she's my favorite female wrestler going today. It's a shame what happened to her, and we talked about that all during the interview, and everybody will see that. But is there anything else you want to impart to folks before we start up the interview that we cut with you? Anything you want to let them know?
I don't know. I hope they enjoy it. It's hard for me to like come on here like we talked. I'm pretty in my shell sometimes, so
Yep.
this is new for me too. So
Yep.
hopefully they enjoy it.
Yep. Well, that I'm sure they will, man. And I've watched a few of your matches on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
You are definitely enjoyable. Yes.
I found it. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay.
Well, actually, here, Nikki, do me a favor. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Okay.
Make sure that's right, because that's the same damn poster for the Eventbrite one that says it's in Ohio. So somebody made a mistake somewhere.
She's checking something there, guys. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. She'll be back.
But
in a second.
yeah, as long as she says that's kosher, I'll put the link in the main chat. And
Oh, I got that covered as long as she says it's cool.
The one you sent me.
The second one, the all events.
The second one, the one, the last one there.
The second one looks right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Looks
Then
good.
I will put it in there right now. Hang on.
Awesome.
Let's see what we got here. Bum, 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 bum.
There we go.
And
She's back.
I do want to ask everyone to keep in mind that I am a novice at video editing, and I did try my best. And while there were more things I wanted to do,
Danny, you did a great job. Don't worry about it. I know you did a great job. You're good at what you do. Shush up. Nikki, I want to thank you for being here. We're fixing to fire this thing up.
Can I actually, not to be too pervy, can I a couple of these new shots I didn't see when we did the interview, because I probably would have been way more inappropriate during the hour we had with her the other day. No offense.
You broke up. You broke up in the middle of that, so it sounded really weird. Try it again, man.
You know what? It works. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, that's on my thumbnail. Of course, it's
Dear
covered
sweet
up with words.
Baby Jesus. Hold up. We got another one. Look at this.
We're working on the meanness. It's slowly
look at how sultry. Well, that's more sultry than mean. But this one here, like, look at that. That's like a badass bitch right there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Those are all.
That's a badass.
Those are all by the same photographer. He does awesome work.
Oh
He
yeah.
actually does a little bit with music too, but it's me times 3 photography.
Yeah.
Awesome. He does great work. Great work.
Yeah, those pictures have been up, buddy. Yeah, for sure. I used one of them. That one where she's squatting down with sunglasses on. Yeah, I used that on my thumbnail.
I used that on the thumbnail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure. But has anybody ever told you look like Emma when you got those sunglasses on? Have you heard that? I know it's driving you nuts, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's like it wasn't even in my mind. Didn't even see the comparison until someone called me out. And I was like, "Oh man, this is not what I was going for."
See, now but that's okay.
Like it's
now you know. Now you know what's out there, so now you can adjust, right? You can do something different, right?
But I do want you to know, since you can't stick around for the whole video, I do throw up some graphics and some links, and I'm sure Joe will put them in the chat as we go on, and of course they'll be in the description. But I've got the show covered with Tessa, all your socials, and things like that. So and your pro wrestling tees, of course, which I actually made a banner for. All
right, well, listen, you guys, if you have the means, definitely go to the wrestling tees, and I'm gonna put these up during the show. But you've already got her pro wrestling tees link. She's got 3 different ones. If you like the heel, get that one. If you like just straight up Nikki Victory, that looks like something out of the 70s. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know.
The one I got was the character one. I got the character one.
I'm digging the next level, because I'm all about the heels, man.
And don't forget, you can follow her on Facebook. Well, as we were just showing you that one picture of the tough girl right there. She's on Facebook, so you can follow her there. Are you on Twitter?
Yes, she is. She's on Twitter and Instagram. I have those both in the video. So, and those handles are the same. They're Nikki Victory _ for Twitter and Instagram. And then on Facebook, I believe it's just Nikki Victory, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. You go get some rest. I know you got to work tomorrow, young lady. And do me a favor. Pimp slap Dan Hole, my brother, whenever you talk to him, okay?
You got it. You got it.
All right. You take care, darling.
Thanks, Nikki.
You guys enjoy this interview, and we'll be back for commentary after it's over with, okay? Enjoy.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Dork Side of the Ring. With me, as always, is my co-host Joe's Atmosphere. Hey Joe,
How you doing, buddy?
I'm
Good to
doing
see
fantastic. Thanks to Joe, and I'll let him tell a little bit about how we were able to make this happen. We have with us today professional wrestler Nikki Victory. She hails from, I got to do my wrestling voice, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Standing in at 5'3" and 130 pounds, Nikki Victory.
That's pretty good.
Nikki has wrestled for places such as NWF, which is kind of her home base, Anarchy Wrestling, New Wave Wrestling, and she's even had several matches for AEW, where she has wrestled the likes of Serena Deeb, Kiera Hogan, Kylie Ray, Anna JAS, and coming up this summer, she takes on one of Joe's favorites, Tessa Blanchard. So
toughest chick in wrestling today, pal. That's
without
right.
any further ado, everybody please welcome Nikki.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
It's great to have you here. So Joe, kind of explain how we got how this happened, if you don't mind.
Yeah, as most smaller promotion wrestlers go, she has a real job. The dream job is the wrestling, but the job that pays the bills is actually one that put her in touch with my brother. They work together quite a bit. My brother works in Dallas. I'm not going to say exactly where he works, but she apparently is part of the supply chain for him. So, do I have that right, Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually, told me he knew we were doing this show, and he said, "Hey, man, I'll put you in touch if you want to interview her." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it." And I believe you told my brother that your husband wrestles too, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's actually how we met.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's his ring name? What's he do?
He was Josh Adams, and now he's a bad guy. So it's just Joshua now. And his little saying is that he was made for this. So he actually started wrestling. He's got a year on me. But when, I started, we were both baby faces. So we did a little bit of tagging together, which was really fun. And then he turned heel eventually. We got to actually feud together, which was really fun. I think he enjoyed it more than he probably should have.
Well, I hate to interrupt. What do you mean feud? Like you guys were wrestling each other?
Mm-hmm. We had a really long storyline together at our home promotion. He got to put pizza in my face.
So like a full-blown intergender match, not a mixed tag match.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. One of the best
sounds-
ones I watched recently was Will Ospreay and his girlfriend, B. Priestley.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For sure.
I actually
Yeah.
do a lot of intergender. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, we feuded for a couple of months, and then he had a tag partner who, they were both heels, and Josh is just degrading me, and his partner turned on him to stand up for me. So then he and I tagged for a little bit against Josh and whoever he was tagging with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, just a couple months ago, probably like 2 months ago, I turned my back on his partner who stuck his neck out for me. And now I joined Joshua. Now we are the power couple of
Now
the
you,
US.
yeah, there you go.
See that
That's
there's a lot of room for fun heelish tactics,
Yes.
which
there you go.
And I'm
are
kind of
always
starting
fun.
to find my groove. Like before, it was just everyone was like, "Oh, like how do you want us to announce you?" And I'm like, "Oh, just Nikki Victory. Like that's all I have." So now we're gaining some confidence, and now it's next level Nikki Victory.
There
So
you go.
got a little
Yeah.
spice to it.
Look, Nikki, you can do it. Let me tell you something. A lot of the guys that are heels are the nicest people on the planet. They really
Yeah.
are, man. Yeah.
It's so hard to like tune into it, but I'm getting there.
I hear you.
I think once you get there, you'll really have a lot of fun with it, because that's what everybody I've talked to that's wrestled for any amount of time. And this is like, gosh, there's Austin Aries, Rob Van Dam, Booker T. Oh gosh, I'm blanking, but the ones I've met in person out here in Vegas. They always, because I always ask that question, because I think I would be such a good, because I'm just naturally a sarcastic asshole, so I just like I think I would be really
Same
good
with
at it.
my husband, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Mhm.
because it just man, that just seems like that would be so much fun. It's like just being a bad guy. the one time I ever got to do anything, I was doing it was at the Level Up. It was a which also does cosplay. So they have anime, cosplay, comic books, wrestling. You know, it's a huge thing at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And I was there with a cosplay group as Mankind. And the promoter from
Oh my God,
from
he showed me this
FSW,
video. It was great. Yeah.
he was like, he came to me and he was like, "Hey, are you with the?" I was like, "No, no." He's like, "Man, you look great. Would you want to do something?" I was like, "Would I?" Like, yeah. So but you know what? I was only in the ring 3 minutes, and I got to squash I just pulled. I did my little shtick. I did mostly talking. I pulled out Socko, and
That's
then
awesome.
this guy came out with like a Final Fantasy sword. And he said, "All you got to do is put that sock in my mouth and I'll do the rest for you." And I was like, "Okay." So I did. And he was just like,
he was
around,
flopping around like a
he jumps,
fish.
and he he made me look like $1 million. It was so awesome. And then
Oh,
when I got out of there, and again, I'm like, that's 3 minutes, and I'm only probably being physical for 60 seconds of it.
Yeah.
I was gassed for like an hour afterwards. I could not believe it.
That's
So
that adrenaline, Bubba. That's
Yeah,
that
man, so
adrenaline.
mad respect to all you guys and girls who do this, because you know, I couldn't imagine. And you had a 22-minute match. I could not imagine that. Oh my God, I'd be
The
blown out.
adrenaline, yeah. If it weren't for the adrenaline, I'd be screwed. Because like I said, I ran. I would go run 8 miles a day, and I was like, I can do this. Like that's nothing. No.
Yeah.
Ring cardio is so different.
Yeah.
That is
And
what I've heard.
you know, hey, people, what I hate the most is when people say it's fake. I'm like, no, it's not fake. Let me tell you, it's
Not-
scripted. There's a difference. They're actually throwing each other around. They're actually getting smashed.
I'm actually
You
in
know.
agreement with Chris Jericho that this really ought to be some. So Chris Jericho says it should be an Olympic level event because it's performance art. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be that, but it should be. There should be some type of recognition. Like I've always said, for the Oscars, there should be a category for stunt. You know, for the stuntmen.
Yes, for stuntmen, there should be. Yes,
and there
I
should
agree with
be,
that wholeheartedly.
I mean,
yep.
Because you know, it's not like you're on a trampoline. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a little bit of give, at least on the one that I was on, but it's like, you know, there's it's just wood under there. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
made
a little bit of mat.
Yeah, that's my
supposed
big
to make
pet
sound.
peeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, if it's fake, come here and let me hit you with this chair. Tell me
Yeah,
what
right.
How you
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is when we have friends and family come and they're like, oh, like you guys are actually hitting each other. And I'm like,
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
Nikki, thank you so much for sharing that story about you and your husband with us. That sounds like a lot of fun. Because I tell you what, Joe's met my my special lady friend. Sometimes I wish I could just potato her right in the face and get away with it.
It's also like relationship therapy.
Yeah, there you go.
You're allowed to hit each other just for, you know, the time you're in the ring and then no more.
Yeah, that's okay.
Get it all out while you can.
Yeah, right. Well, Nikki, if you don't mind, before we, you know, just start chopping it up about wrestling and asking a little bit about your background and things like that, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, and what you got going on, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I've been wrestling for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years this June. It's getting pretty close. It doesn't feel that long though. It's crazy. But yeah, I've watched it ever since I was little. And when I graduated high school, one of my old high school friends, we both grew up loving it. And once we hit high school, we kind of started getting made fun of for liking wrestling. It wasn't really cool anymore.
Man.
But he and I always still liked it. And when I graduated, he was like, hey, like there's this place here in Cincinnati where you can actually train and learn to wrestle. And I was just kind of mind blown by that, because when I was younger, I didn't know that there was even an indie scene. I didn't know what indie wrestling was. I thought there was, you know, Impact, WWE, and that was about it. So I went to go train, and I haven't stopped since. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Right on. You know, I'm actually curious, what got you into wrestling as a fan?
My family always watched it, and I just started watching it with them and never really stopped.
So it's kind of back, as far back as you can remember, just something you kind of grew up with.
Oh yeah, as young as I was.
So my favorite wrestler is, you know, Bret the Hitman Hart, my favorite of all time. Joe's favorite is, I believe, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Randy Savage, baby. That's my guy.
Who would you say, you know, your number one favorite wrestler is?
It's tough to pick one, but when I was younger, I was really into Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy.
Oh
Oh
God, Shawn
man,
Michaels. Who would be Shawn
Shawn
Michaels?
Michaels.
All right. Well, hey,
Yeah,
you guys have fun. I'll see
Yeah.
right.
you later.
He's
No, I'm
leaving
just kidding.
now.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Bret, Bret Hart.
Bret
If Bret
Hart.
Hart can
You know,
forgive Shawn Michaels, I guess I have to one of
I'm
these
sure she knows that story about the
as
Montreal
well.
screw job, but
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
mhm.
so you were a fan, and which is how a lot of wrestlers start. As fans. Did you ever go to any live shows? Did you have any kind of like an initial experience where you're like? Because I found for me that even though I watched it on TV, it wasn't until I saw it live that I just was like hooked. Because
Mhm.
everybody's a part of the show, and I'm not a spring chicken. So I mean, my era's, you know, the mid, like lower to mid '80s to, the end of the Attitude Era, and I pretty much stopped watching wrestling for about at least a decade after the WWF, then WWE now, bought WCW, because it just wasn't the same, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so what's like? Do you have like a live experience? I have a couple, but we're here to interview you. These guys hear me talk all the time.
So I did go to, like, a couple live events when I was younger, not many though, we usually just watch on TV,
Mhm.
but when I went, like, it was really cool, it's a lot different than watching from home for sure, but I don't know, like, back then, I really just enjoyed getting to watch it from my couch, and I
Right
got
on.
so invested in all the storylines and all of that, but yeah,
So
I
now,
only went to a handful of live shows.
right on. So unfortunately, I'm the Bret Hart camp. You're in the HBK camp. What about who's your favorite female wrestler?
Today, ugh, so, like, on the indie scenes, definitely Kylie, I definitely look
Mhm.
up to her a lot. If
She's
we're
got a lot of
talking
fans out there. She really
Oh, yeah,
does. Yep. Hmm.
and if we're talking, like if we're talking WWE, I'd probably have to say Charlotte. She's the total package, I think.
Well, how about I guess I need to get better at asking questions. Like when you were there any female? Because I know they were far and few between back in
Oh, when I
like
was younger,
yeah. Like was there someone
prob
you looked at that was like, oh, I can do this too?
probably Mickey James.
There
Mickey
you go.
James.
There
Yeah.
you go. Now we can agree on somebody great
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
we
Love her to death. Yes,
definitely
absolutely.
love.
Big fan of her husband too, Nick Aldis.
Yeah,
Can't
Yeah,
wait to see where he lands.
for
yeah.
He's been
sure.
in limbo since last year, since he lost the NWA belt, but I'm looking forward to seeing him again, no doubt.
Right on. Well, I'll tag Joe here in a second. And I've got kind of just the run of the mill basic questions, but um, who like your first match? Can you kind of put me like in your head, like because you have practices or whatever they're called. I'm sorry, at a wrestling school or performance type center, but it's got to be different wrestling in front of fans. Like,
Yes.
tell me about that first time you ever did that and what that was like.
I don't know if I've ever been that nervous. Like, I mean, just any kind of nerve you can feel was there. I felt like I was gonna puke. I felt like I was gonna pass out, but I was
Mhm.
also just so excited. Like, you can train all that you want, but nothing's ever gonna prepare you for that moment you walk through the curtain and you have all these faces, just all these eyes on you. Like, you can train all you want. It's never gonna be the same. And I remember like pacing and pacing, and I'm just like, when is it my turn? Like, I want to get this over with. I can't deal with it. And as soon as you walk through that curtain, all the nerves go away, and all of that adrenaline just like, oh, it's so hard to explain. It really is, but I didn't realize when I got into wrestling how much your personality would have to come through and shine, and how much it relied on talking and really finding like your character and like turning yourself up 100 notches. Like I was always very reserved and I was always the quiet kid in the corner, but I was like, I want to wrestle, like I want to do this. And then when I started training, I'm like, oh shoot, like this is really different than it is when you watch from home, and like what you see on TV you really don't get to see everything that goes into it. So it was a
Mhm.
lot of breaking my shell for sure.
Yeah.
So
How do the let me ask you this, since we're on the training thing, how do the people that taught you how to wrestle, how do they feel you're doing today? I'm sure you keep in touch with them.
Oh,
How
for
do they
sure.
feel? Yeah. How are they
So
feeling about how you're doing?
when I first started, no one thought I was gonna make it.
Mhm.
Just being honest, they were like, "Yeah, she's not gonna last," because I was
So
barely on.
is that 130 pounds true, or is that like soaking wet, or what
Now,
is that?
now it's true. When I
Okay.
started, I was barely 110, barely, because I
Wow.
I had run cross country and track when I was in high school.
Oh,
Mhm.
you were a skinny thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got you.
no
Mhm.
muscle, anything. So taking all those bumps and hits in the ring was really taking a toll on my body, and I was just beat up. And I'm like, if I don't gain weight and put some muscle on me, like I can't do this. There's no way.
What was that first bump like?
My gosh, it hurt so bad.
So,
It
so
hurt so bad.
Was it a suplex or what? What was
well,
it?
So when you first start, they get you in there and they just let you fall
you
back and
just
take your own
you
first
Right.
back
back
you,
bump.
Yeah,
you
you're
back
doing the
bump
hand slap, right?
Yep.
to
To
start.
absorb
Gotta
the blow. Yep.
figure out
Right.
how to make it hurt as little as possible
Mhm.
and then just build from there.
Mhm.
So if you had to say you have a like a style, I mean, because you've actually mentioned quite a few high flyers as being some of your you got HBK, you got Charlotte, Kylie Ray. Is that your style as well, would you say, or do you do a
So
lot of like top rope moves?
yes, honestly, I love doing a little bit of everything. Like when I first started, I used to hate the chain wrestling, like the
Mhm.
holds and reversing the holds and all of that. Hated it. Now I love it. It's one of my favorite things. When I first started, I hated strikes, but now I love that, and I love the high flying too. So the mat wrestling, the striking, the jumping off the ropes, I love to do all of that.
Right
Yeah.
on. So do you earlier I was asking about your first match and how you felt going into it. How was it when, like, whether you won or lost, it doesn't really matter, but at the end of it, how did you feel at the end of your very first match? Do you remember? Is that something that's stuck with you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So, like I said, you get all that adrenaline, and as soon as you walk back through the curtain, it all just goes away. You're like, oh
Is it
my gosh, like I
it's
Oh,
like
just
an
I just
adrenaline
did
dump?
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
it's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, like all these people were cheering, they were getting behind me, they were like supporting me through the whole match, and you're just like, it's crazy that, when you're in those shoes, it's like it's crazy that I can do that. And it's crazy that the fans believed me. It's just like kind of that realization, like, holy crap, I just did that.
Right
Because you,
on.
you you don't realize it in the moment at all.
Were you what are you primarily?
Babyface. I actually have been babyface the whole time until honestly 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one video that I watched in I guess it was Sam Laterna. Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
You're wearing the Stars and Stripes, man. That's awesome stuff.
Oh
That
yeah.
all American. I
Yeah.
dig it. Yep.
Thank
It's
you.
very cool.
Where do you I'm just curious, where do you like more, being a heel or being a face?
Honestly, being a heel is really fun, but I'm just genuinely a super nice and bubbly person, and it's really hard to like pull the jerk out of me and not
Yeah.
feel bad about it.
Right.
That's fun.
Like,
Well, I would love to be like a chicken shit heel manager. I think I could pull that
yeah.
off. Um, the little bit of time and like
His favorite guy in the world is Jim Cornette.
that's not
It-
true. That's not
Come
true.
on, man.
That's
I
not
love it.
true.
I love it.
It's because I listen to his podcast and
Hey, I
happen to
love him.
agree with some of
There's
his
nothing to
points.
be ashamed of, dude. I listen to him every week. I love the guy.
Yes.
I just don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, so you've been doing this since 2017.
Mhm.
Now, is that when you start the training, or is that when you started wrestling like in front of people, or both?
That's when I started training.
Okay.
Where I train, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Roger Ruffin. He runs it, he trains all of us,
Oh,
and
okay.
he refed for WWE for a while.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's very knowledgeable. He knows everything there is to know about the wrestling business, and he's very serious about like his trainees. Like he's not gonna put you on a show and have a match before you're ready. So I didn't have my first match until I was 8 months in. So
Okay.
just 8 months of training and learning and all the ins and outs.
Right on. So, Cincinnati, Ohio is a pretty. I mean, like, gosh, you got Moxley is from there, I
Yep.
believe. You have wasn't wasn't Brian
I
Pillman
think
from
Brian
there?
Pillman's from there too.
You
Yep.
know, Seth Rollins from there. I mean, I feel like
Um,
that's a rich area
Carl
of the country.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
Carl
he trained at
Anderson.
the same school that I'm at, and then
Mhm.
the Monster Abyss
okay,
Oh
too.
from
yeah.
Impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to run
I
with
love
Aldous,
Abyss.
man. What was Aldis's name in Impact when he was that guy was his enforcer too, man. I think his name was Magnum or something like that. I can't remember exactly what
Yeah.
his name was in
Yeah,
Impact, but
he's awesome.
yeah, Nick Aldis had the Monster Abyss right there next to him every time he did something. It was awesome. Yeah, love
So
that guy.
so I'm curious as to how it's worked for you because you've primarily, you're on the indie scene right now, and I'm a huge fan of Booker T. He's got his own independent promotion out in Houston, Texas, called Reality of Wrestling,
Mhm.
and I've had and he's coming back to Vegas soon, so we're gonna he's done one show out here with his guys that I was at. I used to go to Impact tapings at Sam's Town just because of my, you know, when you're friends with Rob Van Dam and he was in the promotion at the time, it's like, hey buddy, can you get me in? And I'm
Right.
in like a few. It's really funny because there are a couple episodes of Impact where I'm like right in the front row. And it was funny because Rob was like, just go batshit crazy. So I was all like, just like yelling at people and just being like
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
that'll
because
get the camera on you, buddy.
yeah,
No doubt.
it was a ton of fun. But you've wrestled, I believe, 6 matches for AEW, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So how does one get on their radar if you're in this independent scene that you're in?
So depending on where they're at that week, city-wise, they
Hmm.
just kind of go from a local talent pool and bring you in for extra work based on whatever they need that week, whether it be a match or, whether they need
So
you backstage for something. It just kind
do
of
you have
depends.
like an agent, or is this something you're doing on your own? Like you're getting your own, kind of like voice actors. I've done voice acting in the past and worked with lots of voice actors, and most of them don't have an agent. They're doing all these calls themselves. They're going to different websites and message boards and things like that. Is it
Mhm.
kind of the same for you, or does the school that you go
Yeah,
to or your trainer,
it's a little bit of both. When I first started out, I relied on them a lot.
Mhm.
And then once I started getting out there, you kind of just network. Like if you're at a show or a booking and you meet someone from another state and they're like, oh, like we'd love to have you. Like, why don't you reach out to this person? And you just kind of network from there and meet new
Okay.
people who can get you in different places.
Right on. So, are you doing any of the convention scenes? I mean, I know out here in Vegas, some of the conventions they actually have there's wrestling there. That's where I was actually able to cross the bucket list item off for me was at a convention out here in Vegas. So, is that something you participate in as well?
I
Conventions?
haven't, but I would definitely like to, but nothing I've done yet.
Yeah. When you were saying networking, I think that would be a really good place
Oh,
to
for
a
sure.
thing to check out, especially God, especially out here in Vegas. The one that I've been to, Level Up Expo. We actually just had it a couple months ago, but it's usually like every February or March in that area every year, and they've been doing it for I don't know 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. But it's really cool because it's not just wrestling, and that's a big part of the Dork Side of the Ring is
Yeah.
we're into like he's a comic book or well, he's an artist. He's working on his first comic book. I'm a graphic
Mhm.
designer. We're both in the nerdy stuff. I do a Wednesday show, a Wednesday Star Wars show. I do a Thursday Star Trek show. So we're into that dorky, nerdy geek culture.
Yeah, the one we have here is called GeekCon, and like I said, that the last one we had was Darby Allen. Who else would they have at that thing? That was a wrestler, Ronda. I can't remember, but yeah, they've always got wrestlers there. I
Oh
think
yeah,
didn't I send you a link saying that they had an ECW guy coming this year? I think I sent you guys
possibly. I
that
know
on
that
Twitter.
Toy Con, like I got to meet, Sting.
Mhm.
I've got to meet Mick Foley. I mean, living in Vegas is pretty cool because like once you kind of get into uh, you know, into that scene or whatever, you get a lot of opportunities to meet people. I mean, heck, you can just go to the Nerd Bar downtown on Fremont Street and you're going to run into at least one wrestler there. You know, I've met Sabu there. I've met.
I just remembered it was Danhausen. That was the other wrestler from
Danhausen.
AEW that showed up.
go.
Yeah.
He's funny.
So with this, you know, being on the independent scene, and also, you know, like Joe mentioned that, you know, you have an actual day job, because we've all heard the stories about how difficult it is to break into the business. But when you've had the opportunity to wrestle, you said I believe your first one was with Anna JAS in AEW.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what led up to that? Obviously, she had to be the heel, and you know, you would be what they consider, I guess, enhancement talent, like somebody's already in the ring and they get to make their entrance. But how did that all come about? How did that feel? You know,
Oh my gosh.
you know, because that's your first time in front of like
Probably
that
the
many
biggest
people.
crowd you ever were
Yes.
exposed to, huh? Yeah.
Definitely the biggest crowd, and that's what I was most nervous about. Just because it's a lot of pressure, like being on a stage that big, you know, it's such a big arena. You look out and you can't even see the people at a certain point because it's just dark. Like it's so big, but you just know there's so many people out there watching you, and that's what made me the most nervous. I knew it would be a lot of exposure, so I really wanted to do good and look good and hopefully make a good impression. But
You must have done something right. They got you for
Well,
5 more matches.
Yeah.
Right?
So you also over there, Kira Hogan was another AEW match, correct?
yep.
I'm sorry, if I were more professional, I'd have it all written down in order. But do you remember the order of the matches and who you wrestled?
I know Anna was my first one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the second match, I think, was a tag match. I know it was with Ruby Soho and
Wow.
maybe Sky Blue, I believe. And then I had a singles match with Serena Deeb.
Yes.
And then I actually had a second match back with Anna Jay. And I also got to do a tag match with Emmy and May, Emmy Sakura. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. The Ruby Soho match, I take it you were on the opposing team of those two.
Yes.
Okay. Was this before or after her heel turn? I'm just
That
curious.
was before.
Okay. So did you have to try to be a bad guy, or did it not really matter?
I tried. I tried.
How much did you get to interact with the AEW talent when you were
mean,
doing these shows?
We're back there all day, so we had the whole day really just to kind of hang out.
Did you get to pick their brains a little bit?
Sometimes
talk
it
to them?
just depended on the day. Sometimes everyone was really busy, but it just kind of depended.
Yeah. Was there anyone in particular that just was extra nice, or maybe went out of their way to just kind of make you feel like, hey, I know you're just enhancement talent, but like, blah, blah, blah. Or was everybody kind of in their own zone? And if you had any negative experiences, don't feel like you have to share them, but if you wanted to,
the people that kind of went out of their way to just even say hi or talk to me or anything, CM Punk was very nice.
Awesome.
Dustin, very nice.
Dustin Rhodes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. See,
Orange Cassidy, he was nice.
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. Oh man.
Those first two had something in common, and that's they're kind of the well, let's just say what it is, the older generation, I guess, of
they
performers
are.
there. And they're not exactly spring chickens anymore. So it's kind of cool. I've found like just in my small interactions, it's usually the veterans who are the coolest with people. But it's nice to hear that Orange Cassidy was cool too, because man, he's on quite the run right now with that international championship.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Enjoy him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched some of his barroom wrestling, and it's guys, you need to check it out. He's before he got to AEW, he was doing some crazy stuff in the ring. It was really cool. Yeah.
So I know when we were talking earlier, you said your favorite match was actually with Kylie Ray.
Yeah.
Now, in it's about, you sent the video. It's it's a 20-minute. That's a good.
That's a match.
That's a good amount of time to be wrestling. So, and I guess walk me through that, and I'll show. I don't know if I can what I can show without getting copyright claimed, because the wrestling's really strict about that kind of stuff a lot of the time. But if you can kind of like walk us through a 20-minute match, like, did you guys plan it out beforehand? Did you call it?
Yeah,
in
what
the
kind of planning
ring?
goes into a match that long?
Yeah.
What did you get together and talk about beforehand?
Honestly, a lot of it, you just have to hope you guys have good ring chemistry, and luckily we really did. Like, I was so nervous because I was like, I've looked up to her since I've started. Like,
Mhm.
when we would, do training sessions or whatever, we would go watch matches and study. And I was always like, I gotta watch Kylie. Let me watch Kylie. Like, I gotta study her matches. And it was always something that I was like, that's the goal. Like, if I, even if I don't ever make it big time in wrestling, I want to wrestle Kylie. Like, that's what I want. And not that I don't want to make it big time, but like
Yeah,
that was my dream. And
Mhm.
so um I was at my home promotion, and it was our first all women's event that we had ever done. And all I knew was that I was going to be in the main event, and they didn't tell me anything else. And I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. I'm excited. And so honestly, I want to say it was just a couple weeks before they released the graphic and the poster, and I was like, holy crap. Like, at first
Right.
I was like, you guys are messing with me. Like, there's no way this is real. And they were like, yeah, like, she's coming. And so she lives in Chicago, and so she drove down for this match, which I thought was awesome. And we got to talk a little bit beforehand, and she was like, you know, she knew who I was, which I was like, that's insane. Like, the
That
That's
fact
that's
cool.
you
that's
know me.
that's instant respect right there, because
Yeah,
she's watching people that are lower than her to see what's happening. Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of people, like, sometimes, like, if you're you're making a name for yourself in wrestling, a lot of people get egos, which
Mhm.
everyone's got an ego, but sometimes they get out of hand. But she had none. No ego. Honestly, the sweetest person I have ever met in the wrestling business, just so genuine. And so after I got to meet her, honestly, it calmed my nerves a little bit, but I'm still like, this has to be a good match. Like,
Right.
I might only get to do this one time, so it's gotta be good, gotta deliver. And
Mhm.
so we connected in the ring. We had such good ring chemistry. Didn't feel like I wrestled for 22 minutes, but we did. And I mean, the crowd was hot the entire time. It was just so much fun.
So, what was the story or the dynamic being told with that? Like, was it two baby faces going at it with mutual respect kind of thing, and just putting on
Yeah.
a 20-minute clinic type of thing, or
So since it was, my hometown, obviously I'm going to be the crowd favorite there.
right?
But she's also a huge baby face. So we started it off two baby faces. It was a good back and forth wrestling match, and then she ended up getting a little angry and kind of took on the heel role from there and beat the crap out of me for a little bit, but ended with a handshake out of mutual respect, which was very fun.
So Joe does a segment on our show called State of the Apron, and that's where he gets to educate someone like myself, who's primarily a mainstream fan, who hasn't really gotten into many of the independent promotions. And so, Joe, um, I
Sir.
was wondering if you might like to do a State of the Apron interview segment real quick.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I feel like that would make sense.
That would make sense. Yes. The State of the Apron. Where the reason why I call it State of the Apron, Nikki, is because we all know the hardest thing to do, the hardest thing in the ring is the apron. And the hardest thing to do in wrestling is to get to the big show, right? So that's why I call it that. And I'm just wondering, being a young up and coming wrestler like yourself, you're taking those steps up the rung, up to, and you're working for one of the top two now on a regular basis. I mean, how far do you think you can go? How far do you think you can get? What are you feeling like these days?
Honestly, like, I want to do it all. I really do. I want to go everywhere. I want to experience everything, but it's tough. It's so
Yeah.
tough nowadays to make it and get noticed and be in the right place at the right time with the right person. And so it's tough. Like, I get in my head a lot, but you just really have to, like, keep your head down and just keep grinding and just put in the work, because that's what gets you there anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of these guys when they finally make it, they're really, they're they're middle aged, even up into their 40s sometimes when they're first starting out. So
And that's why I try
I
to
think
beat myself up because I am still young. So,
Mhm.
you know, I've got
Yeah.
time.
Yep. And I'm glad to hear that you packed on some weight, because it's true. When you're taking those bumps in the ring, if you don't pack on some kind of cushion to absorb that, it's really going to hurt you down the road. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
100%.
But let me ask you this. You've got a big match coming up with probably my favorite female wrestler today, and a lot of people haven't seen her. I guess the biggest exposure she's had was on Impact, but when I first saw her, she had, in my opinion, the best match in the very first Mae Young Classic against Kairi Sane. It was in the first round, and Kairi Sane ended up winning the whole thing. But her match with Tessa Blanchard, the girl you're going to take on in June, was the best thing in the whole show, if you ask me. Have you been able to talk to her yet? And what are you looking forward to in that particular show?
So I've only met her once. It was actually my first year in the wrestling. I got to go to a seminar. I don't know if you guys have heard of Rise. They're in Chicago. They don't run anymore, but it was an all women's promotion, and they ran seminars. I think that one that year was with Mercedes Martinez.
Okay.
So that was really fun. I got to be a part of that, and then they chose a handful of people to be on their show later that night. So luckily, I was chosen. So I got to be in the locker room with her a little bit. I didn't really get to talk to her too much. I was still very new, so I was just trying to, lay low, do what I needed to do. I was also very nervous, but
Yeah.
she had a 30-minute Ironman match that night with Mercedes, which was phenomenal, very good. But yeah, I'm excited. She's very good, so I'm gonna have
You're gonna
elevate
have your
myself. Yeah,
you're gonna have your work cut out for you.
keep
I'm
up.
not very I'm not very familiar with Tessa Blanchard, but I did meet her once, and I got to see her wrestle. This was shortly before she was wrestling men, but she wasn't yet the champion, so it was right before
That's how
that.
strong she is, boys and girls.
Yeah,
If you've never
yeah.
seen this chick, she's Tully Blanchard's daughter, and
China vibes, real China vibes.
Yeah, a short version of China. She's
And
tough. Yeah.
but after this was at an Impact taping at Samstown, and the one I went to, I don't know how they always do it, but they tape 2 episodes like back to back, and they usually do it. They do 4 shows in a week, and they do 2 back to back, so they have a month's worth of tape. And after they, when they wrap, all the wrestlers, do their thing, and then there was a bar we got to go to, and because I was a guest of one of the professional wrestlers, I got to go up there. I got to hang out with Tommy Dreamer and have like an actual conversation, with Tommy Dreamer. It was really cool.
How cool is that? Yeah.
But the girl I was dating at the time had never ever watched wrestling, but was completely enamored with Tessa Blanchard, and totally. And I can't tell you, like, it almost started a fight because she didn't want to go with me, kind of thing.
Oh
And she
no.
goes, has a great time. Then we're like hanging out with everybody, and she's drinking, and I would have never guessed in a million years she would fangirl like she did. It was borderline embarrassing, but it was cool. But Tessa was so gracious, and she was we'll just say my friend at the time was just saying how inspiring it was seeing her stand up to the men. And she actually she won one of the matches, but had lost another one because this dude cheated, like with another. There were like 3 dudes. It was really bizarre. I don't know the storyline. I didn't watch any of that.
Impact is bizarre, period. So.
Yeah. So, but I couldn't. That's why I was really shocked when I heard the news. Because she was really, really sweet to me and to her the entire time, when it would have been really easy to be like, what do you like,
Right.
Yeah.
because we were, it wasn't supposed to be any fans in there, so that's why I was,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
supposed to be the friends or family type people or whatever. But so yeah, tell us a little bit more, like, where's this going to be, this match, when's it going to be, and I'll throw up a graphic so people can also take a look at it.
Yeah, it's going to be with Pro Wrestling Element in Huntington, West Virginia. It's a Friday night, And it's also my debut with that promotion. I've never been here before, so I'm very excited.
Oh wow.
Wow,
Debuting
talking
against
about
Tessa.
networking,
More
you're gonna see
pressure.
you're gonna
Yeah.
see a whole bunch more people. Man,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah, like
Well,
that.
that's really exciting. Is there
Mhm.
anything else you want to promote or mention before we get into like your personal links and social media? Like are you on Pro Wrestling Tees, for example?
I am. I just opened
Ooh.
a shop like within the month. So that's funny you mentioned that.
Oh, good deal. Well, we'll be sure to put that link in the description as well.
Absolutely, because I want it.
Yeah.
I got to get me a Nikki Victory shirt, no
There you
doubt.
go.
Gotta have
Right
it.
on.
We've
Yes,
got good Nikki shirts and bad Nikki shirts. So you got a little
Oh.
variety.
Oh,
I want
right
the
on.
All American girl. That's
There we
what
go.
I want the one with the. Well, when you see the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I want.
I've always leaned toward I don't know why, but with the women, for whatever reason, I always liked the heels better. You know,
Really?
like I loved it, like with Trish when she like first turned on Lita back. This is probably before you were born. I'm really dating myself here, but you know that I just loved it. I ate it up.
You mean what she did to Becky this week? Yeah,
Well, that too. I mean,
Yeah.
hey man, like
Mhm.
you know, life is
That's your
cyclical,
stick.
isn't
Yeah.
it? It's kind of, and then you know, Charlotte is best as a heel in my opinion.
She should never be a baby face. This last
she's
run, they tried to
so
make her a baby face, and it just didn't work. Oh,
well,
God.
yeah, but she's just so damn talented.
Yeah,
Like,
she is.
that would be.
It's
I bet you
sickening
that
how
would. You were
talented she
talking
is.
about a dream match. That I'm sure that would be a dream match for you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about
Mhm.
nerve. Ugh.
Yep.
So, well, yeah. If are there any other events coming up you want to promote, or any signings, or if not, like let people know where they can find you on the socials.
So most of the time I am at my home promotion here in Cincinnati. I think we already mentioned at the Northern Wrestling Federation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They run weekly, which is really cool.
Well, Nikki, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. And if you would, let people know where they can follow you, because I know as nowadays it's crazy. A lot of wrestling storylines are continued and even born from social
Shoot,
media.
AEW came from a friggin' YouTube show.
Yeah,
That's basically what half of it was, being the elite. Those
Yeah.
guys doing a weekly YouTube show. You should think about doing that. You should. Really.
That is an idea.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm on Facebook, just Nikki Victory, and then Instagram and Twitter, it's Nikki Victory _ Nikki with
Mhm.
2 Ks. KKI.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to following your career.
Thank you for having me. It was nice meeting you guys.
Thanks a lot
Likewise.
for coming. We appreciate you, Nikki. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, that
And
was
that was it, buddy. Yeah.
that was fun. So
It was fun, man. It's always fun when we can get to pick the brain of an actual wrestler.
Yeah, and I know
Because
that
you and I both have we don't agree on a lot of stuff when it comes to who we root for and stuff like that, but we both agree it's one of the greatest storytelling mediums out there. When it's done right, there's nothing but better than good wrestling.
Yeah,
no doubt.
No, and that was a fun interview. I think if YouTube doesn't clear the video up later, I'll upload it and
Mhm.
make sure. But we are gonna re-air it Sunday on our normal show.
Yep.
We haven't decided yet. It'll either be in the middle of the show or at the tail end of the show, one of the two. But yeah, man. This was Daniel. I see your question. I'll get to you in a second, buddy. This is a wrestling show, but we're dorks, so
Just so you
know.
folks watching know, yeah,
yeah,
he's in the fire right now. He's in the fire.
yeah. So yeah, man. I tell you what, So I did Alexander Braven. He's a local wrestler, and I did
Mhm.
one of my what I called fat tunes, which are digital caricatures
Okay.
of him, and he made little enamel pins out of them. I used to have one sitting around here. It's probably in my desk drawer. I'll show it to you sometime, but I think I'm going to show him that video and see if I can get him on. And yes, Mother Cece said the same thing. Look, this ain't some Hollywood production here, all right? But Cece was literally like, she was like, that's why I'm wearing a hat now. Like, she's like, you need to powder your forehead before you go do these shows? I'm like, oh my God, really? We've gotten to that point. You want to powder my fucking forehead? No, I'll wear a goddamn salty nerd hat.
Hey man, check it out. I forgot because we were watching a video that I'm supposed to tilt my glasses down so they don't catch the ring light, man. That's the trick my wife taught me.
Oh.
Yeah. No, what you do is you point them up. You wear them where you usually do, but you point them above your ears. That way it slants them down. Right? And the glare from the you notice I have to look up I have to look way up now to get the ring lights in there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a trick my wife taught me. She did a lot of Zoom calls whenever she was when
so
COVID
hey,
was
since Daniel's here and we should, you know, why are you showing that again? Don't do that.
Just messing with you, man.
Since Daniel's here,
yes.
Have you seen the Super Mario Brothers movie? Because I have.
Myself, no. Have no intention of going to see it.
What the fuck, man? Why not? You weren't into Mario?
Because I'm not two. I'm not two.
Wow. Okay. Hey, man. Look, all I know is I like.
No, I'm not poo-pooing on it. I just
as I can remember, and I still play it with my kids. We've got Mario Party, Mario Kart. You know.
Yeah, when it comes on TV, if I'm not doing anything else, yeah, I'll watch it. But
that's what I like. I like that it was. I could enjoy it with, you know, my mom enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. You know, it was multi-generational. I thought that was cool.
You got to remember. Well, this is the deal, Dan. You got to remember. I got a few years on you. My kids are gone. They're not here.
Yeah.
This is me and my wife doing what we did.
Like I get you, man. You're a tweener. You're in between my age and my mom's age. So I get
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. So
I'm just starting to enjoy the fruits of my labor over the last few years. You'll get there too, and when you get there, it's enjoyable. It really is. And when they visit, just remember, spoil the shit out of the grandkids and buy them the loudest shit you can buy.
Yeah.
To give
so
them. Yes.
I'll take that advice if it's ever a thing. But I've let all 4 of my children know if they make me a grandfather, it would not be wise. Like I literally went to my oldest. So my oldest is 24, 25. He's born 98. How old is he?
Yeah.
Shit. He's
98.
Yeah. He's 20.
He's 25.
5? No, he'll be 25 this year. His birthday's in November. So he's 24 right now. So
I just did the math. That's all.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you. Thank you, Mom. Mom chimed in. 24. Grandma knows. So he's been with his girl. They live together. He's been with his girl for years. Like 4 or 5 years. Longer than his mother and I were together. Anyway.
Wow.
And And it's kind of a joke, kind of not a joke. They don't know if I'm serious or not. But I have told her on more than one occasion over the years that if she ever wound up pregnant, there was plenty of desert here in Las Vegas.
Right. And I know how to dig a hole. Yeah, that's it. There's plenty of that.
Yeah.
But Nikki is a great kid. She's I say kid in an endearing way. She is a young lady.
She's my son's age, so I think we can get away with calling her kid.
Okay, all right, whatever. All I know
is
it's
not condescending. She's like
that
she's
was a
talented.
super enjoyable thing. If now the link we've been putting up, is that for tickets to this thing? Is that what that link is?
Here's
for?
the thing, man.
Or are they going to show it on Fightful or something? Because if they are, I'm going to have to buy that, dude.
Here's the thing, man. I do internet marketing for a living. I already offered my services. I said, hey, put me in touch with the guy. I won't even charge you. I just want my interview to go well and my links to work. And none of the damn links worked at the beginning. That were official links, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Right.
They're the links printed on the flyers. You know what I mean?
But Nikki has nothing to do with that.
She's got nothing to do with that. That's not on her at all. That's
right. No, it's not. Yeah. That's the promoter. But if they're showing this somewhere where we can see it, I'll look into it.
And thankfully we've got a direct line to her now, and you know, I'd love to get her out to Vegas for one of these. There's so many different wrestling events out here and conventions and stuff, and dude, I think it would be awesome.
You got her email. Stay in touch with her, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Although I think it would be awesome to get you and her
Oh yeah. Well,
So
you
we
know.
could,
Oh, I'd have to bring my brother on that trip. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
he'd have to meet her
Hey.
face to face.
Hey.
He's just a voice on the phone to him.
Oh,
So,
really?
you know,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, he's seen her videos. You know,
Okay.
he vetted her before he even
So
pointed
I was
her in my direction. So
I went to
yeah.
the NWF Facebook site trying to see if I could like rip any graphics for the video or maybe even like clip any video,
Mhm.
and it was few and far between. I did find a really good one of Nikki in full heel mode, like full bitch mode. It's about a minute.
Really?
Yeah, it's about a minute and a half long, and it was maybe like a week or two ago. You should check it out when you get a
I
chance.
will. I will. Yes.
Um,
Awesomeness.
but yeah,
But I liked it. I like the my favorite video with her is the red, white, and blue. Let's see. Where
yeah.
is that?
I'm surprised she doesn't
My
have that
stupid little thumbnail that I made that's
in her
nowhere near as good
merch.
as yours. It actually has a picture of her on it. Where is? Yeah, here it is. That one right above the A and
Yeah,
apron.
yeah. I'm
That
surprised
outfit.
yeah,
Dig
I'm
that one.
surprised that Captain Marvel Wonder Woman style wasn't on any of her shirts because you figure
Right? She needs to put that on there, man.
that
Very
would
cool.
sell.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what else did you want to impart to the folks before we say our good nights?
Well, I don't want to end it on a down note. I do want to bring this up, so you might want to come up with something else to end it with. But
Okay.
my dear friends at the Salty Nerd podcast,
Blow that up a little bit, buddy.
you already knew what I was going to do.
I
put
know
the link.
exactly where you're
Yeah.
going. I gave him some money. I think it was yesterday morning.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I put the link in the chat.
Mhm.
Some douchebag scumbag piece of you know what broke into their studio and stole. Realistically, and it's sad because when they first did the assessment and the report, they thought it was only like $5,000 to $8,000 worth of stuff, and now it turns out not only is it over $10,000 worth of stuff, but because they spent money on new surveillance and anti theft and
Mhm.
security stuff. Really, I think these guys should have upped it. Like Chris Gore was telling them to make it 10 grand. I think they should have made it 12, but they
They'll
actually
make it to 10 grand. They will.
well, I
They
don't.
will.
He's trying to close it. He's trying to figure out how to close it down because he doesn't want people thinking they're taking advantage, which nobody
Right.
would. I mean,
No, nobody would.
they let everybody, in fact, to their detriment. And I think this is what happened.
I think that's what happened too. When I heard
Yeah.
what was taken, it sounds like somebody wanted it for their studio and decided to come in there and get it. And that's just
Yeah.
shitty.
It
Whoever
is.
you are, if you're listening, you're garbage.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
sure, if you have the means, go help these guys out.
And even if you don't, just share the link while it's still
No,
live.
definitely do it. Because look,
Yeah.
I was watching him. I know exactly where it was when I saw him yesterday. He was on Midnight's Edge.
Yeah.
Kadish was on there,
Yep.
and he said, "Look, if you help us out, we'll let you use the studio if you're ever in Vegas." So, hey, that's a perk right there for you. You people in Vegas, if you want a nice place to do a show from, that's it right there.
Or, hey, well, we're the convention capital of the world, man. So like sooner or later, your
Sooner
ass
or
is
later,
gonna end out
everybody
here.
ends up there.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
And look at that, Doss Wolfen. Thanks. He said he donated to them as well. I think
We're
both
fighting
of
each
them.
other. Sorry, man.
Yeah, my bad.
It's cool.
And then Mom Alex has been posting his updates to Instagram, not Twitter. And they're his stories, which only last for like 24 hours. And I don't even. I mean, if I have to, I'll do it for you. I'll video chat you or something. But yeah, he's just been posting like updates, little mini videos from the studio as this whole thing's been happening. And I do want to say I had no idea she did this. Kadish mentioned on his stream today. How sweet is this? How adorable, yet how antiquated. My mother sent the Salty Nerds a check to help them out because she doesn't do anything on the internet. She won't say. She literally, if I need to borrow money,
you know what those guys will probably do? They'll frame that thing and put it on the wall. That's what they'll do. I could almost guarantee
I
that's what they're gonna
guarantee you
do.
my mother was the only one that sent them a check.
Look, man, go donate to these guys. They deserve it. They're a great bunch of guys, and they support everybody in our sphere because they're part
They
of it.
really
So,
do. I wouldn't be here, and don't hold it against them if you don't like me, but I wouldn't be on Twitter YouTube. Come on, Danny. I wouldn't be on YouTube if it weren't for them. I met Kadish at the. I used to do for Nerd Farm. I used to do press at all the conventions out here when Wizard World was out here, Amazing Con, and the Star Trek convention back when it was still called the Star Trek convention. I'm
mhm.
sure they'll cash it, Mother. They'll just ask for it back to frame it. So I met Kadish. I got to interview him. This is how we met. I interviewed him. He was promoting his second book, I think it was, in his series of Earthman Jack.
Okay.
And when we Daniel's Hot Topics, the Salty Nerd podcast was dropped. We put the link is in the chat, but we're trying to move on to happier stuff now. So I met Kadish. I interviewed him, and this is back when I was in full fat beard glory, like 400 pounds, ZZ Top beard. Looked like a biker. You know what I mean? Like, and
Pre-heart attack. Yeah,
pre-heart attack. This was pre-heart attack, and we after the interview, we just started talking about Star Trek, and we bonded over our hatred of J.J. Abrams.
right.
And we've been friends ever since. And when the Salty Nerd podcast was just the three dudes before Jude joined, they were audio only, and they had me on a few times as a guest. And I did the entire first season of Picard with them, and on audio. And we also did. Oh, it had Hugh Laurie in it. It was on HBO. It was a sci-fi show. We gave up on it though because it wasn't that good. But we covered that as well. So I'm an OG. They've had me on as a fill-in guest, and then I was like, hey man, can I be like I was begging them to like bring me on, and they're like, nah, man, we need like 4 is the right number. And so they kind of pushed me into starting to do my own thing. They introduced me to Gary over at the Pop Culture Minefield. They introduced me to the Popcast guys, and they all started having me on. And slowly but surely, I'm inching my way. I think I got like maybe 119 or 20 subscribers.
You're getting there. You had more people watching this stream than I did. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well, it was all that pimping out I did. Yes, Daniel's Hot Topics, the first season of Picard. Hey, Matt, you're like the Candy Man. We were just talking about you, brother.
Just talking about you, man. We were pushing the GoFundMe, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
good to see you.
To answer that, I do believe Invader, since he's here, can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you can listen to all the audio stuff on Spotify. I'm pretty sure for you because you don't use Apple, so I'm pretty sure you can do Spotify. And I can send you that link if you.
My man Matt's out there. He says, hello, Tom Hagen. May not be a wartime consigliere, but apparently Joe is. Hey, I am. For the tribal chief, I am. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Spotify. I was right, Mom. All right. Yeah. So check it out on Spotify. You can, like I said, I did, Vader, you're here. Do you remember what the hell that show was we did when you were audio only? It had Hugh Laurie in it. It was on HBO. It was a sci-fi show. I only did a few episodes. It was back when I was doing Picard. I'll send you a link, Mom. Anyway, it was something. I can't remember. Avenue something, maybe. I think it was Avenue or.
Who knows?
I can't. Yeah, I can't. Anyway.
But Matt, I hope you guys get to 10,000. I gave to it. A lot of people in our sphere gave to it, and I'm looking to cash in when I come out to see Danny. I'm gonna do a show live from your place.
There you go. And Vader, I don't know if you saw what Joe said earlier, but if not, you need to make it happen. You need to frame Mom's check after you cash it.
She sent you a check. You need to frame that thing, dude. You need to frame it.
No, it's not Sonic. This is the Salty Nerd. Daniel's Hot Topics. Go look up right now, or I'll get the link for you. The Salty Nerd podcast on YouTube. These are the guys that, like I said, you either can love them for it or hate them for it, but they're the whole reason I'm here doing this still, because this is fun. I like, I've never met Joe in person. I've never met Gary in person. I've never met Avenue 5. That's what it was. I've never met so many people in person that I do consider, like Fat Steven Seagal, like Paulie, Chris, all these people I consider friends. I've never actually met in person. I just saw.
We unleashed Danny on the world. Terrible mistake, Matt Vader says.
Trying to share his channel, and he's
right?
yeah, it's fine. But here you go. It's in the
says I hate myself for it daily.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. Hey, Daniel, there's the link to the Salty Nerd podcast. Be sure subscribe to them. Check if you can. My favorite videos are their member videos on YouTube. Hilarious. Like they're so, because they're not about like one of them is just Vader ranting about some bitch at Subway, and it's gold. It's comedy gold. All of it. There's another one where they're reading comments about people who are all pissed off over their John Wick 4 review. Comedy gold.
God.
All their members' videos on YouTube it's worth the $1.99 or $4.99 or whatever it is. So yeah. Jesus, Mom, you have more subscriptions than I do, and you don't even do videos. What the hell?
I got way more than that. Good Lord. I'm subscribed to so many people. Good Lord. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Mom saw it. Yeah. Madge.
Well, listen, we're going to wind this down here pretty quick, but I want to get back to why we came to begin with. Little State of the Apron special. We had an interview with Nikki Victory. I want you guys to go out and I'm putting the links in the chat. Support her at her t-shirt shop. Buy some merch if you have the means. Definitely do that.
Like stuff. Let us know if you like stuff like this, and we'll definitely try to do it more in the future. Like I have. I don't want to call in too many favors too fast, but I have a handful of friends who are wrestlers, and Johnny Rock knows some people. And so if you like this and you thought this was cool and you want us to have more guests on, let us know in the comments down below.
She straight looks like Emma on Next Level, Nikki. She's got to do something about that, bro. That's Emma. Well, that's why I told her I'm not going to pull punches with her.
I feel like if I weren't facing, Kate just said
that's the one I got. I got the Nikki Victory one.
Yeah, see, I could do a better version of that, and I would, and I do it for free. But Kate just misspoke. He said I'm getting evicted. I'm not getting evicted. My lease is up, and my landlord has opted not to renew it. There's a difference. So, but I do still have to move out by the end of June, which sucks because I hate moving and I love my house. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much for doing that. And I'm sure the guys over at the Salty Nerd podcast appreciate that as well. But
yeah, that's her pro wrestling.
But yeah, one of these days, I'm gonna draw her a better caricature.
Yeah. She's also on Facebook and Twitter, and Danny's been dropping those links all night long.
Yeah. I'll have them in the description, and
definitely
she's not hard to find.
Out.
If you Google her name spelled correctly, I mean, you
will find her. It's Nikki Victory. Yeah, Victory. No doubt. You will find her in 2 seconds flat. On YouTube too, and see some of her matches. She's good. She's really good. Dude, that little, and she's a little girl. Yeah,
dude, that 22-minute match with Kylie. What was it? Kylie Ray.
Kylie Ray, man, her dream match, Bubba.
Yeah, her finisher. See, that's why it's funny. I thought I was trying to set her up with softball questions. Her damn finisher is a top rope move. And in the interview, I'm like, so are you more of a high flyer? Do you do the top rope moves? I was trying to give her
this dude.
I was trying to give her a softball. She's like, I was expecting her to be like, as a matter of fact, my finisher is a tie.
Right.
Okay.
But she says it. She's new at this, man.
She's
just doing something she loves, and that's the great thing about independent wrestling. I got introduced to it by a friend of mine here in town who actually he was part of the tag team that was the last tag team to hold the Mid-South Tag Championship belts back in the early 90s. He went by the name of Pitbull. And dude, I one of these days I'll pull up the pictures and I'll show you the t-shirts that I airbrushed for him and Rick, his partner. he bladed himself every show. He bled all over the place. He was crazy. His name's James. I'm not going to say his last name, but man, what a great guy. We're friends to this day. Every time something huge comes up in wrestling, he asks me for somewhere to watch it and how to watch it and all this other stuff. And we compare notes here and there. But that's the guy that got me into it. Watched him in a nightclub. You know what I mean? Watched him do his thing in a nightclub, and it was great.
Man.
It was awesome.
Hey, I normally get you for like a couple hours. We cheated today. It got 45 minutes where you just had to sip. It was 45 minutes. We did 15 before. We've only done about 10 now.
Yeah.
You think you could give me 9 minutes to talk about Raw? You want to talk about Raw? Did you watch Raw?
If you want to. I haven't seen Raw, but if you want to talk about it, go for it.
I wanted to talk. No, I wanted to talk to somebody who'd seen it. I don't want to shit all over it.
You know how this works, bro.
I know.
I
man.
don't
so look,
see things until Sunday morning. I watch it on a DVR and I watch it fast.
So, all right. So then you don't mind if I spoil it?
No, I don't. You know what? I'm not the spoiler guy.
Okay.
There's a whole shitload of spoiler people. Hey, if you haven't watched Raw yet, he's about to talk about Raw. Look out. And by the way, this is Nikki's big show coming up there in the chat. So check that out.
There we go.
For sure.
Yeah.
Against Tessa Blanchard.
I hope to God it's not a squash match. I hope it goes at least.
It won't be. That won't be it. It won't be a squash.
Yeah. I mean, because we know Nikki's not winning. There's no way in hell. But like, I'd like her to look good. You know what I mean? You can look good in defeat. Yeah, speaking of looking good in defeat, you know who didn't look good in defeat? Oh my God. So.
Oh, I saw what happened. You talking about Cody? You talking about what happened?
I'm talking about Cody. Cody's my man, dude. I love Cody Rhodes. He's my new, like, where's my Cody Rhodes shirt? See,
he was this close. He was this close to winning the triple threat match. And then
first of all,
it got
I didn't want him to win. Here's what's going to happen. Yeah, Mr. Kennedy's at the same event, Vader. Yeah. As Tessa Blanchard and our guest tonight, Nikki Victory. Here's what's going to happen. Cody is going to lose to Roman in the next match. Then they're going to have a rubber match that Cody wins. Then Cody's going to win Money in the Bank, and he's going to cash it in on Roman, but he's not going to do it in a chicken shit way. He's going to call his shot at SummerSlam. And he's going to win the title at SummerSlam after Roman breaks all the records and he gets the belt that matters, because Seth is getting that world's heavyweight title paper.
We're not good enough to beat Roman belt.
Yeah. He's getting the I'm not good enough to beat Roman belt. And Cody's
the stupidest thing WWE's done in a long time.
Dude, not even okay. So I was talking about this last night on Joe Cronin's show. If you look at the calendar, this is what really pisses me off. They didn't need to. They didn't need to include SmackDown because this is supposed to be a Raw exclusive championship, right?
Yeah.
So Raw was on the 8th. Okay. So have your triple threat match, your first triple threat match for Raw on the 8th, right?
Yeah.
And then your first two triple threat matches on the 8th. Yeah. Then you have your next two triple threat matches on the 15th. Then on the 22nd, you have the finalist match, okay, between the two winners of the triple threats. And then on the 27th at Tournament of Champions or whatever it's called, Night of Champions, then you have the finals. Why did we have to rush this? What do you want to have 2 weeks of build for a paper champion tournament? That's stupid. I don't know.
It's dumb, man. It's dumb. Look, when they brought out a new belt, I was like, okay, they're trying to become AEW. Now everybody's going to have a belt.
Look at this. Vader.
Consolation prizes for everybody. So I just put all that up there. You were so busy on your rant.
To me?
Yeah.
Why don't they combine the belts? We're going to have 3. Roman has 2. There are too many belts.
I just told you. They're 100%. Trying to become AEW.
Here's what needs to happen. I'm going to tell you this right now. If they don't fucking merge Roman's belts into one belt, they can call it the same damn thing. I don't care. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, the optic is there's 3 belts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't be mad if when Cody wins at SummerSlam, he melts those down into a new Winged Eagle championship belt. That would be the tits. That would be good.
That would be the tits.
That would be the tits.
Yeah. But
All right. Well, I got that out of my system, so I'm good.
it's good. But how great did Brock look, man?
Dude, no, you didn't even see his promo. So
I didn't see his promo, but I saw his face. Oh my God.
So he had the big
He
old
was fucked up.
stitches.
Yeah.
He had the black eye. He had the crusty, bloody cut under his nose.
Yeah.
And he was yelling like he was like Bono in front of the camera, like yelling, like, what do you want to talk about, Cody? I want to talk about me. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I heard it was the best one he'd done in a long time.
No, it's good. You need to watch that promo. It's fun.
I will. I'm going to watch the whole thing. You know me, I do it all on Sunday morning before the show. So
I totally agree with that.
That's Matt. That's my man, Matt.
Is
Small Time Republic.
Ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
absolutely, man.
All right, man. Well, this was an experiment. We don't have any kind of outro video.
No,
like
but I always let people know what's coming up with me. You can let them know what's going on with you first if you want to. It's up to you. Who wants to go first?
Well, it's your show. I'll let you end it.
You let me go first? Okay.
No,
hey.
I mean, you can go first. I thought
no.
End it.
No, you want the champ. The champ's going to go last. We're actually going to do it right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the champ goes last.
Go.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow on the Salty Trekker channel and on my channel, because we simul stream just like we're doing today. We are going over. So Salty Trekker, Michael Crawford's having me watch the reboot of Battlestar Galactica for the first time ever. So this is my first watch, and they're making me. So we watch it together Saturday mornings. We watch at least 2 episodes. Depends on how much. It depends on a lot of things. Like we start at 8 my time, but sadly, technical difficulties. We usually don't even get to start the episode till 9:30.
Right.
And but we watch at least 2 episodes. So and the mini series was 4 episodes, two-parter episodes. And so tomorrow we are reviewing the second episode, the final part of the mini series, which, if you're curious, Salty Trekker today dropped. I'm actually a little pissed off at him about the thumbnail, and if you want to roast me a little bit, Joe, you can look it up and share it, because it's me. It's a very unflattering photo of me.
No.
Yeah.
What did you do?
But basically, so we're gonna do our review. He already released the video, like he did. Like if you're on his Patreon, you get to see our whole 2 hours watching it and our live reactions, kind of like commentary on a commentary track. But he clips that up into something usable for YouTube. That's usually like 10 to 15 minutes, where he just does a compilation of the different reactions. And most of it's me drooling over Trisha Helfer so far. And so tomorrow we're going over that. Thursday, same time, which is 3:00 Pacific, 6 Eastern. We are going over the first episode of the series proper. I believe it's called 33. And that was actually a really, really, really good episode. So I'm really looking forward to my Saturdays now, Saturday mornings. Unfortunately, they scheduled them the same time as the Salty Nerd podcast, so I have to rewatch them. I usually do the mods for them and share links and and have terrible envy because I used to be on that show. But now I'm watching Battlestar Galactica, and I get to go back and watch it later, and it's not as sad. So I'm just kidding, Vader, if you're still here. Yeah, so that's what I got going on. And then, of course, Sunday with Joe's Atmosphere.
You know what's up,
we got Dork Side of the Ring on Pop Culture Minefield at 11 a.m. Pacific.
You know what time it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it. Joe. I'm going to tag you in, brother.
Okay, you tagging me in? Well, we want to thank you for showing up for this special State of the Apron, where we talked to Nikki Victory. We actually did this interview about a month ago, and we've been waiting for the event to drop on, what was it, Eventbrite? And we've been putting the link in the chat all night long. Check it out. I'm going to try and find it to watch it, but that's all part of Pop Culture Minefield's Dork Side of the Ring, the show that Danny invented, and I'm happy to tag along with him every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. And
Don't be so modest. I couldn't do it without you, man. You keep
I
me
hear
on
you, brother.
track.
I hear you. And we're brought to you by Pop Culture Minefield and KGRA Radio, and also I'll be on there this Monday for this is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, The Hunt for Red October. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can I tell you a secret?
Tell me a secret.
Most things in here don't react too well to bullets.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's great. That's a good one. You did that almost as good as Alec did. Yeah. And by the way, I have to tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if they like it or not. I don't care if you like the guy or not. Maybe he should be going to jail for murdering somebody. Alec Baldwin is the best Jack Ryan ever to play the part. If you've ever read the books, he's the anti-James Bond. He is not a guy that gets in fights. He was the best one ever. Anyway, we're going to talk about the movie he's in, playing Jack Ryan, The Hunt for Red October. And that's going to be Monday at 10 a.m. Central, Morning Coffee with Gary on Pop Culture Minefield. And of course, you can see me tomorrow with me and my friends. While he's busy with the nerds and nerd fights and all that good stuff, I will be busy talking about the state of the atmosphere. And it's pretty much the news and everything to do with pop culture.
Wow. Your little thumbnail made me, did you hear Tucker announced today he's doing his show on Twitter?
No, he's going to do it on Twitter.
He announced it like
Great.
He's going to be the
I've
first.
been putting my stuff on Twitter, man.
Dude, no, I didn't know you could do that. He's going to put his show on. Dude, he's going
to. If we had done this exclusively on my channel and not yours, it would have been on Twitter.
Okay.
That's the one I dropped for this show because I can only do 3, right?
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Dude, all my stuff's on Twitter. You can go check out my page. Every broadcast, except for the gaming stuff, I'm keeping that on Twitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do this every Wednesday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. Central. Check that out. It's me and Matt, Small Time Republic, you saw in the chat there, and a few others. We really don't know who's going to show up. I blasted out to a bunch of people, and we see who shows up. And then, of course, that night you can watch Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, little cocktails, video games, and fails. It's me keeping my hands in the video game sphere. I play Madden.
I try to
Force Unleashed.
I try not to roast you on those streams,
but I do be roasted. I was into that game and didn't see you for a solid 15 minutes.
And that's fine. But it's good because I would have just given you shit about how terrible you are.
Yes, that's it. That's the whole point of it. I'm a 57-year-old man that loves video games, but is bad at them. So
nothing wrong. Sounds like Vader.
Yeah. So I do this one on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central for a couple of hours. Wednesdays and Thursdays, and also on Thursdays. Don't forget, it's me and the Highlander. The brothers hack the Matrix. The Dan Hole. That's it. It's me and him. We get together and it's a headline driven show where we hack through the matrix of those headlines and let you know what's really going on backstage.
Mom's trying to shut us down so she can go watch Robert Meyer Burnett.
We're fitting to do it. We're getting there, Mom. Give us a break. And the last thing I got to let you know is on Saturdays, I've got Sketching the Privateer. I'm halfway through plotting the second book, and I got to tell you guys, I'm enjoying the chat. The people that are showing up on that show, they're really into my comic book and what I'm doing. And I'm learning fast, guys. Every afternoon or Saturday afternoon at 1:30 p.m. You can come watch me for an hour before I go to work, plotting the pages of the Privateer. I'm learning really fast why there's teams of people that do these books.
Oh yeah,
because
I do want to let you know I have helped three artists in over the last 13 years, which isn't a lot, but it's not what I do for a living. But I've helped 3 people like yourself self-publish comics. So if you need help with that, I know.
I will be picking your brain about that. Right now, I'm just trying to get the work done so I can publish it. Yeah. After that, I'll wonder. I'm thinking about Indiegogo. I'm thinking about several things. What I really want, though, Danny, and you pick your brain about this. This is what I want. I want to put out 20-page rags like I used to read when I was a kid with cliffhanger endings. And I want them to look like those old books, almost on newsprint. You know what I'm saying? I want them to look like that.
You see this here?
Yes.
So my buddy Jim, who used to own Cosmic Comics, but he's had to retire due to I don't want to like HIPAA violations, but due to health
Yeah,
reasons.
gotcha.
And so now, because his partner is a good human and also one of my best friends, his name's Brian,
Mhm.
still pays Jim. So
Mhm.
he still gets, like he's
Right.
still technically an owner. He just doesn't have to work anymore because of his health issues.
Gotcha.
So every month he makes these little comics, and I have them all,
Wow.
where he basically takes like a regular size sheet of paper and he like does
Mhm.
some kind of folding thing with it.
Yeah.
And then he customizes the ending. So he used to, and I understand why he doesn't anymore. I don't hold it against him. This used to
Mhm.
be all like original hand drawn art. So what he's
Mhm.
done now is he makes he does one that's actually a photocopy. You see that he's done here.
Yep.
But then the final page is tailored to
Mhm.
the person he sends it to.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. And I tell you what, one of these days I'm going to figure out a way as a gift to him, or even if it's after he passes, to his kids and to the comic book community here in Vegas, because Jim was a huge part of it.
Mhm.
He opened Cosmic Comics in 1997.
Yeah.
I really want to put all these in some kind of like omnibus for him, because I
There
have
you go.
tons of, like, he's been doing
Yeah.
this for me. He's been retired since before the pandemic. So at least 3 years,
Yeah.
3-4
Mhm.
years. So yeah.
That's great, man. That's awesome. But yeah, I'll definitely pick your brain about that, because I definitely know what I want. I just don't know which avenue I'm going to use yet. I don't know if I'm going to use crowdfunding like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, or if I'm going to take out a mortgage on the house, man. I don't know.
Kickstart. Hey man, I can help you. All we gotta do with Kickstarter is come up with some good goals, make a
Mhm.
sweet video, give
Yeah.
people an incentive, so then it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like they're donating. It feels like they're actually buying something, and those campaigns
Yeah.
seem to do better.
Well,
So
that's what my intention would be anyway.
yeah,
Anybody that puts money in it's going to get something back. So
yeah,
I just got to find out who's going to print it and all that good stuff. But anyway,
yeah.
look, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Check out those links for Nikki's stuff. Definitely support her. And I want to thank Danny for doing this with me tonight. And you
Thank
can
you,
see
brother.
us. Don't forget. You can see us on Pop Culture Minefield and KGRA Radio this Sunday.
Sunday. See us
For
on
Dork
Pop
Side of the
Culture.
Ring.
Listen to us on KGRA. Yeah.
That's right. And until we see you again, boys and girls, I'm going to leave you with a trailer for my brother and I show, The Brothers Hack the Matrix. Keep on keeping on. God bless.